Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padadan Sahajana Lalita Shri Vishakranvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Paditanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dear devotees, will continue from 21st verse. So 9th chapter, the most confidential knowledge. So far we covered 20 verses. So in this, the first section was what are the qualifications to hear about Krishna and what are the disqualifications. And then Lord's Achinta Jnana, Aishwarya Jnana that we discussed in 4 to 10. And then the types of worshippers and non-worshippers. And in this section, we are discussing how Krishna is the highest worshipable entity. Right? So we'll continue. This we already looked at. Now, those who study Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious planets, pious heavenly planets of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. So Vedas are full of descriptions of various rituals. If one practices those Vedic rituals, they will go to higher planets and they will enjoy godly delights like in the company of Indra. But this is not what devotees want. So what happens in a higher planet like Swargaloka is described now here. 21st verse. Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam.
Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam.
Yene punya lokam vishale.
Shine punya martya lokam vishanti.
Evam dharmam anuprapanna.
Evam dharmam anuprapanna.
Gatam labhante.
Gata gatam
Gatam
labhanti.
kama labhante.
Please read.
When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their fused activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death.
So its conclusion for the verse that was discussed above. Some people, they live very pious life, they practice religious principles, they perform various vratas and pujas at home, but their goal is to go to higher planets, right? To go to heaven or higher planets. But unfortunately, what happens? They will go to higher planets and they can enjoy there. Maybe lifetime is, in like places like Swargaloka, the lifetime is, 10,000 years. Here it is 100 years. Multiply 1,000, that is the lifetime of Swargaloka. So they will live for a very long time there. But the results of their pious activities get exhausted, right? Whatever good activities they did, it's like going to 5-star hotel. We discussed this multiple times. You go to higher planets, or you go to 5-star hotel, you get various things that for satisfying your senses. You get to sleep on the best beds, you get to eat the best food, you get the servants to help you in various ways. You get a lot of enjoyment in a 5-star hotel. Similarly, heavenly planets are like that. You go there, you can enjoy in the way you want. You get all the heavenly delights. Apsarasas will be there. You don't need to work hard at all. Like here, there is no need to search for a job. Swargaloka means a planet of enjoyment. Everything is provided. It's all sense gratification there. It's like, just like in a 5-star hotel, or just for comparison. But those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the 3 Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. So, but at some point, the enjoyment need to end, because it's like 5-star, right? You cannot stay in the 5-star hotel forever. There is a period after your payments are done, after your bank balance is done, you'll be escorted outside. You will not be continued to allowed to stay in the 5-star hotel. Similarly, there is no death in Swargaloka. People directly fall to the material world. So there is birth, there is enjoyment, but there is no death. There is no disease, there is no death in the higher planets like Swargaloka. So people don't suffer in the higher planets. They'll be escorted down to the lower planets. So they will continue to exist in the, again they come to Bhuloka or Bhorloka and continue to their existence in the lower planets, because their pious credits are exhausted, right? So that is how it works. But the problem is repeated birth and death. If you are here in the material world, you will continue to take birth, you will continue to take death. Again, repeatedly, it is going to occur unto you. As long as you have the desire to enjoy in this world, repeated birth and death is going to be there alongside with you. It cannot be stopped. So that is why the devotee does not seek any kind of sense gratification, because any desire to enjoy in this world means another birth. Because your desire is there, your desire needs to be fulfilled. So God will give another opportunity to enjoy. Right? How do you get the opportunity to enjoy? By giving another body. Right? So as long as you are hopeful that you can enjoy in this world, there is no liberation for it. If you are hopeful that somehow I can be happy in this world, yeah, the repeated birth and death, the cycle, you are part of the cycle. Whether you do pious credits, impious activities. If you do impious activities, you'll go to lower planets. You do pious activities, you go to higher planets. Exhaust, enjoy, come back, again, continue to live in this world. So devotees never want either any of this. Yeah, now devotees, how devotees do, right? That is described. Ananyas chintayanto mam
अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां
ye jana paripasate
नापर्युपासते
nityaviyuktanam
तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां
yogakshemam vahayaham.
Yogakshemam
वहाम्यहम्
Ananyas chintayanto mam. Ananya means no other goal, no other objective. Chintayantoma means concentrating mind. Mam means Krishna, me. Ananyas Chintayantoma, no other object, full focus on Krishna. E jana pari upasate. Ye jana means whoever, the people, whoever are. Pari upasate. Pari upasate means worship the Supreme Lord. Ye jana pari upasate means those people who worship me, right? Without any other focus in their mind, no other objective, right? Tesham nityabhiyuktana. Tesham means of them. Nitya yukta means nitya abhiyuktana. Fixed, always in pure devotion service to Krishna. Tesham nityabhiyuktana. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Yogakshemam means I will take care of their protection. Vahamyaham. And I carry what they lack. I give what they have, and I preserve what they have, and I give what they lack. So Krishna is assuring that he is going to take care of the devotees who completely, with no other focus, fully focus on the transcendental devotion service to the Supreme Lord. Yeah, please read the translation.
But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
This is very touching. This is an assurance that nobody in the world can give us. But for those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. So Krishna is reassuring that he doesn't need to worry at all. I will take care of the person. I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Whatever they have, they don't need to worry. I'll give all protection. And I carry whatever they lack, they think that they don't have, right? He will give. Krishna is assuring that he will give. So did we discuss the story of Arjunacharya?
No, Prabhuji.
So there was a great devotee in the South India a few centuries ago. His name is Arjunacharya. So he was a Brahmana, a mendicant, but a great devotee. He would speak on Bhagavad Gita to everybody. So he's just focused on Krishna. So he does Madhukari. Madhukari means go to some home, go outside, and whoever gives whatever they give, he will just accept. So Arjunacharya one day, he was going through Bhagavad Gita, he came to this verse. Ananyas chintayantam ye jana parivipasate. So he thought, Krishna is, maybe he does whatever he's promising here, maybe to pure devotees, not for anybody like me, right? And he this line is there, Yoga Kshema Vahamyaha. He actually crossed that line in the book. And he went on about his duties. He went to Ganga to take bath, and he went to do Madhukari. So when he went out, his wife is at home. Two boys come there. Two boys come to their home. They bring all the provisions. They bring all the rice, vegetables, and oil and sugar and the salt and everything that they need. Right? They give all those items to her, and then his wife asks, why you such a small kids? Why are you carrying such heavy weights? And who sent you here? The boys say, oh, we were sent by our spiritual master, our guru, and our guru is Arjunacharya. Oh, she becomes upset that she gave such heavy weights to such small boys, young boys. And then she says immediately she was very upset with Arjunacharya's behavior to give such weights to the boys. And she says the same thing, that he should not have given this kind of heavy weights to be lifted by you. And then she takes away all those from them. She takes them down. And then don't say anything to our guru. They say, the boys say, don't say any word to our guru, because he already was very upset with us. And they both turn their back and show their backs to Arjunacharya's wife. And on the back, there are, whip marks on the body of the small boys. Both of them have whip marks. And they tell that Arjunacharya was very upset, and so he beat us with a whip on our back. So we have to leave, and the boys leave. After some time, Arjunacharya comes. And in the meantime, Arjunacharya's wife makes some preparations. And when he comes, so his wife receives him, and she was not talking to him. She was very upset about what he did. And so she was telling, you should not have done that to the boys. Then Arjunacharya would be surprised. What did I do to any boys? First of all, I don't have any boys or any disciples. And then the boys, she says, I have seen the two boys came, and they gave so many food items to cook. And then they also showed their back where you have whipped them. And then he was surprised, like, how can this happen? And he was totally surprised. Then he would go back to his book, the book that he was reading in the morning. This particular verse, right? Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana pariyupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemo hamya. So he looks at the thing that he did. He just corrected this, crossed this line. And to his surprise, that cross is gone. When he sees the book, the line that he crossed is not there anymore. And he understands, and he cries that this must be the act of Krishna and Balaram. Just that, I have, doubted and corrected this line with a crossing. They themselves came directly in person, and whatever crossing I did was like a whip mark on their back. And they showed that whip mark to my wife. And he comes and tells his wife, you are so fortunate, my dear. You have witnessed directly the Supreme Lord and his brother. You are so fortunate. And he cries the whole night in ecstasy. And he was so sorry for his misunderstanding of this verse. So that was one pastime. There are so many such pastimes in the lives of many acharyas. But that is one thing that I remember because it's directly related to this verse. So Krishna reassures that he will fully take care of the devotees. You don't need to at all doubt this. He and he says to Arjuna, go and boldly declare, my devotees will never perish. He asked Arjuna to go and boldly declare. Why? He could have declared, he could have said, Arjuna, I will take care of my devotees. Go and boldly declare. Later on it comes. I will take care of devotees. He could have done that. But he says, Arjuna, you go declare that I will take care of my devotees. Because sometimes, for the sake of devotees, Krishna might come down on his vow. But whatever he promises his devotee, he will never take it back. For example, in the war of Mahabharata, when Kauravas and when the war was happening, at some point Bhishma was so ferocious, it is as if that day he's going to kill Arjuna. Looking Arjuna's fate, Arjuna was uh, very dear to Krishna. Krishna could not see that situation. And what did he do? He got down his chariot, and Arjuna's chariot was almost collapsed at the time. And he's about to surrender and maybe killed by Bhishma. Lord, and what is Lord's promise before the war started? Lord said, I'll be neutral. I'll not be helping either you or him. I'll be just a neutral party. I'll be riding your chariot, but I'll not be taking part in the war. So that's what Krishna said to Arjuna or Pandavas. But when the time came, he broke his vow and he runs towards Bhishma there with the, he doesn't even want to wait for a moment. He just takes the Arjuna's chariot wheel and runs towards with a great rush to kill Bhishma there. And immediately Bhishma surrenders to the Lord directly at that moment. So that is the love of Lord for his devotees. Of course, Bhishma is also a great devotee, but at that moment he shows the love for. So he's ready to break his own promise. That's why he says, Arjuna, go and boldly declare, my devotee will never perish. I will take care of him at any moment. So this is another such way. You have given your life for me, and I will take care of you. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. Tesham nityavyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. So who in this world can promise us like this? Right? Nobody can promise such a thing. I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. You just give your heart to me and I'll take care of everything. Epi anya devata bhakta
केऽपि अन्या देवता भक्ता
yante satyamrita
यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता ते
माम् एव
yajanti avidipurvakam.
यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्
Please read.
Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Those who are devotees of other gods means Indra, Charana, Vandu, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, or any other demigods, any other god, right? Those who worship them with faith, if you have faith in them and you worship them, actually you worship me only. It's not that you are worshipping somebody else. O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. See, very clear. Krishna is very clear. Right? Avidhi purvakam, yajanti avidhi purvakam. Avidhi purvakam means wrong way. Epi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita. Tepi mam eva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Very clear. So one may wonder why devotees only worship Krishna exclusively. This is the reason. This is directly spoken by Lord Krishna himself. Because who are demigods? Demigods are part and parcel of Krishna. Right? Why do you have to worship the part when you can worship the whole? Right? You worship the part. The part is because it is part of the whole. Because you are worshipping the part, you are actually worshipping the whole. But it is not appropriate. If you consider, say, Brahma as the Supreme Lord and worship him, Brahma derives all his power. Brahma is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Brahma is is empowered by the Supreme Lord. And so if you worship him, all the powers that Brahma had were derived from Krishna only. So you worship him, it is indirect worshipping of, it's like if you if you say approach a cabinet minister and appeal to him, it is also kind of appealing to the Prime Minister of India indirectly. It's not the direct appeal, but it is an indirect appeal, right? Yeah, so you can worship, but it's a wrong way. Krishna is very clear about it. It doesn't mean that devotees are very respectful to all the demigods. They don't look down upon them, but they understand the position of demigod, like Vinayaka, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Shiva. All these demigods, they know their position, understand that they are actually part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and they are engaged in various departments of the overall universal government. They understand their position, they respect them, and they can approach them to give bhakti towards the Supreme Lord. You can approach them. It's not like you completely reject them, right? You respect them. You are very respectful to all the demigods because they are empowered representatives of the Supreme Lord. So they deserve your respect. You must respect a cabinet minister because he is in the cabinet, right? He was chosen by the Supreme Lord, right? The cabinet minister is chosen by the Prime Minister. Means they're definitely pious people. They must be accredited. They must be qualified people. Otherwise, why would the Supreme Lord choose them? So have great respect for them, but understand their position in relation to the Supreme Lord. They are not the same equivalent to the Supreme Lord. They are second rank power. So that clarity should be there, very clear. Many people understand about Hinduism as pantheistic religion, and you can worship so many demigods, 33 crore demigods. You can worship anybody and you get the same result. Very clearly denied. Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma is actually monotheistic. The Supreme Lord is one. Absolute truth is one. That's why you worship any demigod. You worship any demigod. What do they say at the end? Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanam. Did you ever hear that?
Yes, Prabhuji, we heard.
Yeah.
While doing the pujas, while offering the prasadam, they will say Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Yeah, every puja ends with the same statement. In fact, last week we did Sri Rama Kalyana in our temple. Right? Supreme Lord Ramachandra is a direct incarnation of the Lord Krishna. But what did we say at the end? Same thing, same mantra that was done by Sri Vaishnavas, not our Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But what did they say at the end? Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Same thing. Even worshipping Lord Rama also is done towards the end with the same ending. The puja ends, the puja completes only when it is offered toward the Supreme Lord. Because everybody acknowledges this is Paripurna Avatar, Sampurna Avatar, and this is the absolute highest ultimate. Right? So very clearly Krishna himself is saying, right? Nobody else is saying. You worship demigod, but it is indirect and wrong. Very clear. Avidhi Purvakam. Yajanti Avidhi Purvakam. So many people think, oh, you Krishna devotees, you only worship Krishna, you don't worship anybody. What is the problem? I mean, this is what Krishna says. Should I take the word of Krishna or should I take your word? That is how you should ask. Right? We are not disrespectful to anybody, by the way. We respect everybody. Every demigod is definitely respectable. They deserve our respect. They were chosen by the Supreme Lord. So we have highest respects for all of them, but at the same time we recognize their position in relation to the Supreme Lord, and we worship the Supreme Lord, right? With no, no kind of disrespect or conceit or considering them any lower. No, we have highest respect for. Whenever we see any demigod temple or anything, we should immediately offer obeisances. They're all worshipable. They're all respectable. Not say worshipable, but they're all respectable. They deserve our respect, and so we accept that position accordingly. But there are people who worship the demigod Vinayaka as the highest supreme truth. That is incorrect, right? That is incorrect way of worshipping demigod. So we should understand very well, very clearly. Right? See, here it's mentioned. The demigods are so to speak different officers and directors in the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated here as Avidhi Purvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. Further states like this. Aham hi sarva yajnanam.
Aham hi sarva
Bhokta prabhureva cha.
Bhokta cha prabhureva cha.
Abhijanti jananti.
Nam vijananti.
Enata shavanti.
Datta shavanti te.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam. I am the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. Whatever yajna you perform, either to demigod or to the direct Supreme Lord, Bhokta cha prabhureva cha. I am the master. I am the only enjoyer. Very clear. Krishna is not hiding anything. You should know, because who can tell about Krishna? Only himself, right? Because everybody is born of him. Somebody needs to be informed so that they actually understand the position of Lord. Right? Natumam abhijananti. Nobody knows him in truth. Right? So if one does not recognize, that is their misfortune. Yeah, please read.
I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
Very clear. Fall down means, what is fall down means? They'll continue in their cycle of birth and death. Right? One who does not understand the position of Supreme Lord, then he would not naturally worship him. If you don't worship Krishna, what happens? You worship some demigod, or maybe you don't worship anybody. You worship demigod, you go to higher planets, come back to the middle world again. Right? You don't worship anybody, you will continue to be living in this world again and again. Right? Because you are still trying to fulfill your desires, don't understand the position of the Lord, don't understand why you are here, don't take any action in that direction. If you have a problem, if you have a disease, you don't act on it, right? You just continue to ignore the problem, right? Everybody understands there is misery in this world, right? Birth, death, old age, and diseases. Everybody's experience. Everybody sees this happening around him. But if one does not act and continue to enjoy whatever is given in his life, what do we say about that person? He's just he's just wasting his life. So he will continue to exist in the material world. Very very easy to understand. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Why does he say that? It means when you perform sacrifice, it is meant for him. Any sacrifice you perform, who is the ultimate enjoyer, ultimate master is Krishna. Very clear, right? One who read Bhagavad Gita at least once, he knows who is Krishna. Unless he misinterprets and tries to derive some meaning, he has to completely accept Krishna's supremacy, and he ideally should become a devotee of Krishna if he studies Bhagavad Gita at least once. This happened with Muslims, this happened with Christians, this happened with so many Americans now accept Bhagavad Gita and accept Krishna. Why? Because they read this. Because in Bible you won't have statements as powerful as this. Say, I represent the Father. The statements are all in relation to the Supreme Lord, but never like I am the Supreme Lord, right? So you can very clearly see Jesus' teachings are all, or Jesus is like a guru. He's like a Gurudev. He's like a spiritual master. So his teachings are all accordingly. And he directs everything to the Supreme Lord. He doesn't call with the same name as Krishna. But ultimately he's pointing to the Supreme Lord. So this is the only book with such authoritative statements in the entire creation. And Jesus very clearly says, I'm not giving the highest instructions because you are not ready for it. But here, what did Krishna say in the beginning of this chapter? Knowing this, there is nothing higher to know. This knowledge, the knowledge of this chapter is, remember the first few verses. The Supreme Lord Krishna said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. If miseries are in this world on you, you understand, yes, this is a proof that material world is temporary, material world is a place of misery. You will never complain. And you understand the real goal is for me to go back to God. It's not to continue to improve my situation in this world. Right? It's like a sand castle. Whatever you build, it's a matter of time, water will come and it will take it away. Right? Whatever you build in this world is like a sand castle. It's just a matter of time, everything will be erased. Right? Whatever wealth you have, whatever education you have, just time will take away everything from you. Right? Your youth, your beauty, your wealth, your family, everything will be taken away by time. Just a matter of time. So anything you build in this world is sandcastle. But any worship you perform is like building a place in spiritual world. What did he say about this knowledge? This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. He's talking about bhakti. He is the king of education, most secret of all secrets, purest knowledge, because it gives direct perception of the self by realization. It is perfection of religion. It is everlasting and is joyfully performed. What can be said more about bhakti? Yeah. Very clear again. Those who are not faithful in devotion service cannot attain me, O conqueror of any. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. It's very clear. Let's start at 24th. Yanti deva vrata devan
Yanti deva vrata deva
Trinyanti Pitrivrata.
Trinyanti Pitravrata
Bhutani and
Bhutani Yanti Bhuterya
Yanti Madhyajino
and
Yani Mayajino Hima.
Please read.
Those who worship demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me.
So this verse describes so Krishna is telling about the destination of various living entities. If you worship demigods, Shanti Deva, Vrata Deva, you go to the demigods. You worship Indra, or you worship Agni or some other demigod, you go to Swargaloka. Right? Those who worship ancestors, there are people who worship their ancestors, Pitras. So there is a planet called Pitraloka. So it's a planet of Pitras, right? So they will go there. But there are people who worship ghosts and spirits, and they become one of the ghosts like them. But those who worship me will live with me. They will come back to spiritual world. Right? So that is described here. Similarly, one can attain Pita planets by performing specific yajna. One can go to many ghostly planets and become a yaksha, raksha, or pisacha. Pisacha worship is called black arts or black magic. There are many men who practice this black art. Don't practice black arts. That is clear. They think that it is spiritualism, but such activities are completely materialistic. Similarly, a pure devotee who worships the Supreme Lord only achieves the planet of Vaikuntha or Krishna Loka without a doubt. Very clear, right? So some people say, oh, in my family they worship this demigod or this particular, they worship this, they practice this black art. We hear all these things. So very clear. This verse very clearly tells where the destiny will be. So be very careful about who you worship. Yeah. It is very easy to understand through this important verse that if by simply worshipping the demigods one can achieve the heavy planets, or by worshipping Pitas achieve Pita planets, or by practicing black arts achieve ghostly planets, why can the pure devotee not achieve the planet of Krishna or Vishnu? Yeah, by worshipping Krishna or Vishnu, one achieves their planets. Unfortunately, many people have no information of these sublime planets where Krishna and Vishnu live, and because they do not know of them, they fall down. When the impersonalists fall down from the Brahmajyotir, the Krishna conscious movement is therefore distributing sublime information to the entire human society to the effect that by simply chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one can become perfect in this life and go back home, back to Godhead. Simply by chanting the Maha Mantra, one can go back to Krishna Loka. You don't need to perform any other thing. Just your process determines where your destiny is. Right? So this knowledge is so important. If we don't know this knowledge, we might consider, oh, I can worship anybody and I can go to Vaikuntha. No. Based on who you worship, you land up there. So you have to be careful.
Prabhu, one question.
Yes, Sagar. Hari Bol, thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks, Prabhu. So we do with these Pitrutarpanas, right, Prabhu? Even in ISKCON temple also we do perform. So is it also not recommended?
No, that is okay. Pitrutarpana is okay. See, the thing is, the main problem with many people is they think that their desire is to go back to Pitruloka, generally when they worship. But Krishna devotees, they do Pitrutarpan. When they do that, the Pitrus will be relieved from Pittaloka and go back to the supreme planet. They will be relieved from those lower planets. So one should.
Oh, talking about the desire to go back to ancestors.
Yeah, that is wrong. One should not. When they worship so there are two ways one can perform this worship. The way we perform in our temple is different. The way we perform is to relieve them from Pitraloka and send them to higher planets, or at least come back to the middle world. The reason is Pitraloka is not a higher planet. Actually, it's not. It's a lower planet. So even coming to our Loka is better than staying there. So that is the idea.
Thank you.
Rinku Mataji has one question. Prabhuji, everyone has their own swabhav or ruchi. Nature So if someone worship Ganpati or Ma Durga, which Shabda that he is worshipping the Supreme Lord? We're talking about worshipping. But very clearly we read in the above verse, one can worship, one can perform puja to demigods, make them closer to Krishna, but one should also directly worship the Supreme Lord. For example, when the gopis of Vrindavan, they are the highest, purest devotees, when they were performing Kakshayani Vrata, but the goal of that Vrata is to make them closer to Krishna. Not because, not because they understand that Kakshayani is the highest. They worship the demigod only to get them closer to Krishna. When Lord Krishna advised Arjuna to perform certain sacrifices to demigods, obtain their favor before preparing for the war. He gets the favor of Lord Shiva, he gets the favor of God, he gets formidable chariot, formidable weapons, all these demigods.
Prabhuji, we can't hear you very clearly. Can you mute us all? I'm hearing some background noise.
Is it better, Mataji, now?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's better now. Thank you.
So Lord Krishna himself directly instructs sometimes, so that just to give importance to these demigods and their positions, and the devotees actually perform such sacrifices to please the demigods, and such is the case with Arjuna, and such is the case with even gopis. But there are special cases, and they are directly instructed by the Supreme Lord, right? In our case, our problem is, in the current time frame, many people worship demigods with a different mindset. They think that the demigod is the highest supreme truth, but that is incorrect. One may have taste for worshipping a specific, they may be attached to a particular demigod. But now with this understanding about the position of Supreme Lord and the position of Ganapati, or whoever, Durga, or whoever you are worshipping, you keep not saying you should take away suddenly, throw the pictures of the demigods in the waters. No, we are not saying that. Keep Krishna in the altar and understand Krishna's position and Durga's position, right? We read in Brahma Samhita, the direct prayers of Brahma also talk about this position. It's not only Krishna saying this. It is all the acharyas, all the great, even like Brahma, they worship the Supreme Lord in the same fashion. It's not just even Rudra. There is a Rudra Gita in which he worshipped Krishna. So, and Padma Purana is the conversation between Mother Parvati and Krishna. Sorry, Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva, in which he extols the position of Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna. So, based on scripture, because people come to these worships before they come to the understanding of the highest truth. So they can continue to respect them. They can continue to have the pictures in the altar. That's fine, but understand the position of Krishna and worship Krishna and worship, offer respects to other demigods with that understanding, right? Like I said, we should not disrespect any demigod. We have highest respect for all demigods. But also, here Krishna very clearly tells, it's not like he's, he need to tell, otherwise people have so many misunderstandings. So he need to clarify so that people benefit from this. Yeah, now another excellent words.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Yeah, so I was thinking like when the soul leaves the body, it whatever consciousness it was there at that time, it will take that form, right? So how does this Pitruloka come into the picture? Like the soul will take the another body, right? So where does this Pitruloka, that planet, fit in?
Because suppose you are attached to, say, your mother who passed away, for example, or father who passed away, and you are strongly remembering him, and he happened to be in a Pitruloka for now, right? So by your destiny, because of you're not thinking about the Supreme Lord, you're thinking about your Pitras, your forefathers or your parents. So you go to the planet where they are. You will be along with them because of your attachment. Because Krishna says, hey, this person is still attached to this person. Let me give one more chance. Let me go. Let me arrange for his next life in this particular body with this particular person. He loves this demigod. He wants to be with them. Okay, give him one more chance. Let him go there and let him be there so that he can be happy there. It's Lord is just reciprocating according to our desire. That's all. Very simple and straight. Right? Here you saw it. You like demigods, you go there. You worship Pitras, you go there. You worship Rakshasas, Bhutas. Happy, go there. Why you want to live in human? You are worshipping Rakshasas as if they are the highest. Go and live with them. Be part of the community. Right? Krishna fulfills the desires of the people as they wish. So Krishna is going to send Elon Musk to Mars planet in the next life for sure, because he is very much inclined to go to Mars planet. Most likely he will not go in this life, but he will go in the next life, and those who are after him, they will all go along with him to Mars planet. So arrangements will be done. I mean, it's nothing new. The desire to go to a different planet is nothing new. There are ways to, through Vedic sacrifices, one can go there, or one can think of a mechanical device to go there, like Elon Musk, right? He's thinking he can build a mechanical device to go there. This is absolutely no new idea. This is completely old idea. In fact, Vishwamitra Muni, he built a staircase to Swargaloka through, and when he was rejected, because, if you want to go to for example, you are in India, you want to enter America, will you be allowed because you have a flight ticket? Can you come here directly without visa and immigration and passport and all? Can they allow you?
No, Prabhu.
Exactly. You need qualification to go there. This guy, Elon Musk, thinks that all he needs is a device to go there. Just like, if you have a flight ticket, you can go to a higher, you can go to any planet you want. That's what he's thinking, right? But it's not like that. You need more important than flight ticket. First, you need the permission from the other planet, higher planet. It's not like you have a ticket, you can force yourself there, right? That is demonic thinking. Demons think like that. Demons means those who lack understanding of God, the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. They think that they can control everything. This is demonic mentality. He thinks that this planet is unfit to stay anymore. Let's go to Mars planet. What kind of foolish thinking is that? And everybody in this world, they're investing heavily in these Mars ventures, right? Thinking that it's going to become a reality. It's never going to become a reality. Even if it happens, it is a one-way flight. Those guys are not coming. Whoever are going there, they're going to die there, mass and mass. So these are all foolish thoughts. These are not new. These are all there. Demonic people have done this in the past. They're doing now. People, when they get power, they think that there is nothing that he became powerful. He became the richest person. You see, this is exactly what Ravana did, what Hiranyakashipu did. When they become powerful, after doing a lot of hard work, Hiranyakashipu did tapas for thousands of years. And he got all these powers from Brahma. And then what did he do? He did mess. Because he doesn't have understanding of who is absolute, who is the highest truth. What do? You do nonsense. So he became powerful. Now he is richest. He has multiple companies. I don't know if you all know about Elon Musk. He's the richest person in the world. Now he's just, he's forcefully trying to acquire Twitter, a company, right? A social media company. He's trying to forcefully acquire. He's thinking, nobody can stop me. I have money, I can buy. World doesn't work like that. He will get his lessons very soon. I don't think, because just like, history repeats. History is just, if you study history, that's why Puranas exist. You learn from history. There are enough lessons from the past. We know what is going to come upon this guy Elon Musk. He's going to be disastrous because he's doing exactly what the demons did in the past. Right? We can see because we read scriptures. We know what happened to them. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Let's read this verse. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Patram phalam toyam
Astram
Pushpam phalam toyam yume bhaktya prayachati. Tadaham bhakti upartam
Nami Prayatatmanaha.
asnami priyatatmanaha. Again, that background noise is coming, probably.
Yeah, I think Rinku Mataji, please mute yourself. Yeah. Some background sound is coming. Patram pushpam phalantoyam
Patram
Patram pushpam phalam toyam
yome bhaktya prayachate
yume
Prayachati.
adaham bhakti pahritam
tat aham bhakti upartam
prayatatmanaha.
asnami priyatatmanaha.
Very good. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Krishna is not looking for big things to be offered to him. You don't need to perform great sacrifices. You don't need to perform big pujas to please him. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Patram means leaf. Pushpam means flower. Phalam means a fruit. Toyam means water. a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water. Hmm? But what he looks for, there is a, the objects are not more important. Yome bhaktya prayachati. Bhaktya, with devotion. Prayachati means offering. Right? With bhakti, if you offer a simple leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, offered with devotion, bhakti upahritam, asnami prayatatmanaha. I accept that. Prayatatmanaha. From one in pure consciousness. Right? So when we offer anything to Krishna, our consciousness is the most important thing. When we offer with devotion for the pleasure of Krishna, that is very, very pleasing to Krishna. Bhakti upahritam, ashnami prayatatmanaha. If, yeah, please read. Anyone?
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
What is most important? The devotional aspect, with love and devotion. No? and it is for whose benefit? When we offer anything to the Supreme Lord, what happens? It is going to please whom? It is going to please us, or it is actually for the benefit of us. It's not that Krishna is in want of any of this. Just like, for example, a child is there. A child, she offers a small thing to the father or mother, right? She made a nice art. She spent an hour. She drew a nice art and made a greeting, wishing his father on his birthday, and she offers him. How does the father feel? He's very happy. The person can buy it easily, or but the father or mother is very, very pleased by the devotion of the child, because it is offered with love. Krishna looks for that love. It's not about the object that is offered. It is the bhava, the the content of the heart, the love and devotion that a person offers a thing. That's what most matters. So when you offer also, the most important thing is, Krishna, please kindly accept this simple offering. For you, actually in Vaikuntha, there are so many great devotees who can offer the highest, best things. I'm a simple living entity of this material world. Please kindly accept this simple offering. That is the humble mood in which a devotee offers. When a devotee offers in that spirit, in that attitude, in that mood, then Krishna will be very, very pleased. He understands that this devotee is actually very, very sincere. He's offering with the right consciousness. In that way, he purifies our heart when we do that. So that is the most important thing. When we offer with love and devotion, you can offer, you don't need anything major to please Krishna. You can offer whatever you have. You can offer simple cooked rice, simple, dal rice. It doesn't matter what you offer. If you don't have anything, you can offer simple fruits or nuts or simple water. At least offer water every day in the morning and evening. Right? So Krishna will be very happy to accept whatever you offer with love and devotion. Right? So he's very clearly telling, what pleases him also. In the previous verses, he told whom to worship and how to worship. Is explained here. You can offer a simple thing, but bhaktya prayachati is important. And bhakti upahrita. It should be filled with devotion. Your offering should be filled with devotion. Here, Lord Krishna, having established that he is the only enjoyer, the benevolent Lord, and the real object of all sacrificial offerings, reveals what types of sacrifices he desires to be offered. If one wishes to engage in devotion service to the Supreme, in order to be purified and to reach the goal of life, the transcendental loving service of God, then one should find out what the Lord desires of him. You know, if you want to please a person, you want to please your teacher or please your please your neighbor, for example, you need to know what the neighbor likes, right? If you offer something that you like, does it help him? You need to know what he needs. When you offer a gift to a friend, for example, right? If you know that friend likes certain things, for example, he likes certain food items. When he comes to your home, you cook that items. Then that shows that you actually are thinking of him. You are actually desiring to please him, and you put your heart in pleasing him. How much he will be pleased, how much he will be happy that this person actually, he really loves me, he really cares for me. That is the reason he actually made cooking with my, with my, to satisfy me, right? To make me very happy. Then they will be really pleased. So one must understand these subtle principles. So similarly, what Krishna is our Father, is the Supreme Lord. Just like a child, sometimes, we offer Ganga water to Ganga itself. So whatever we offer to the Supreme Lord is again his only, it belongs to him. But we take a part of it and we cook it nicely and we offer to Lord. And Lord is very, very pleased because he sees the content of our heart, the devotion in our heart. Right? And that helps us to be purified by Lord. So what you offer, so what are the principles we learn? What we offer doesn't matter. Or the content of our heart matters the most, right? And whatever we offer is actually belongs to him. But before we eat, we offer. Before we do anything, we remember him. So that's why, any puja you perform, everything is offered to Krishna because he is the highest truth. It also means that you recognize who is the real owner of everything, right? When you offer food in your home, you're recognizing that this food actually comes from Krishna, and in gratitude, you're offering this to him. It's very simple, right? When we get something and we offer the person in gratitude the same thing, how pleased that person is. He's very pleased, right? So similarly, the Supreme Lord is also pleased. It is actually recognition of his supremacy, right? And he is not in need of what we offer. He is completely self-satisfied. Atmaram, he is completely satisfied. But by pleasing him, by offering him, we express. It's a way to express our heart, our love for him. It's a bhakti. It's an expression of bhakti. By offering these items, we actually express our heart to him, that we want to please you, my Lord. Please kindly accept and give us your remnants. So we eat those remnants and we get purified. Right? Whatever is eaten by Lord becomes prasada. And by eating prasada, our heart is purified. So that is the reason we offer with love and affection. It's an opportunity to express our heart to Lord. It's ultimate instruction. These are all like jewels. These verses are like jewels, right? You can wear on your neck, like a garland. Yat karoshi yadashnasi.
Yat karoshi yadasmi
Roshi Yasna
Juhosi dadasi yat.
Yajyohoshi
dadashi.
Yat tapasyasi kaunteya
यत्तपस्यासि कौन्तेय
tat kurusva madarpanam.
तत्कुर्वः मदर्पणम्
Arpanam.
Very clear in this verse. Yat karoshi, whatever you do. Yad ashnasi, whatever you eat. Yad juhosi, whatever you offer. Dadasiyat, whatever you give away. Whatever you give away. Yat tapasyasi, whatever austerities you perform. Kaunteya, O Arjuna. Tat kurusva madarpanam. Tat kurusva, do it like madarpanam, as an offering to me. Mad arpanam means an offering to me. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever sacrifices you perform, whatever you give away, do it in my name. This is the reason we say in every, everything every worship we do to any demigod. What do we say? Sarvam Krishna Arpanam. This is the reason for that. Yeah, please read.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
You see, very clear. What can be more clear than this? That's why we do whatever we do in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is nothing but practicing Bhagavad Gita in life. How do you practice Bhagavad Gita in life? You remember Krishna before you do any activity, whether you do a job or cooking or anything you do. Remember Krishna. Right? Whatever austerities you perform, remember Krishna. Whatever offering you perform, remember Krishna. Whatever activity you perform, just remember Krishna. That is the way to purify the activity. That is the way to purify your heart. And that is the ultimate. It becomes, there is no karma associated with it, and you will be going back to Godhead at the end of your life. Right? Why to spend one more? Why do you want to come back one more time to this material world? Just perform this one verse. If you follow in your life, whatever you do it for the satisfaction of Krishna. If you perform this one thing in your life, all your life, you don't have to come back to this world. Who can be more authoritative than this? Right? Who else in any of the books said anything like this? No other scripture speaks like this. That is why the Acharya said the ultimate instructions are summarized in Bhagavad Gita. Right? So there cannot be more authoritative statement than this. Very clear. Do it as an offering to me. Very clear. Right? If anybody asks why you worshiping Krishna, you should just show this verse. No questions asked. Yeah. Please read this, Mataji. Svatana. Continue. It's a beautiful verse. I want to.
Yeah. Thus, it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Krishna in any circumstance. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together. And Krishna recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live. Therefore, he should accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies. Therefore, Krishna recommends, do it for me. And this is called Archana. Archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Krishna says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Krishna consciousness movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Krishna 24 hours a day by chanting Hare Krishna mantra round his beads, he is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
See, so powerful statements here. Each verse is like a, it's reiterating the same statement again and again, so that Krishna is just nailing the point very clearly. Shubha Shubhair Falairevam
Shubha Shubha Palerevam Mokshasya Karma Bandhana
Sanyasa
Nasa Yoga Yuktatma
Vimukto Mam Upaishyasi.
Tomam Pashyasi.
Now, please read.
In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me.
So the instruction, if you follow the 27th verse, remember 9th chapter 27th verse, this is a very powerful statement. 26th is also a powerful statement. 27th is also a powerful statement. Whatever you do, do it for me. So when you are generally in this world, whatever we do for whom? For ourselves. We are the enjoyer, right? We think it's for me. What's in it for me? That's what we think. We cook food which we like to eat. We do activities which pleases us. But this is a mindset change. So now, before doing anything, before doing any activity, we think for a second, does it please Krishna? Does it displease Krishna? If I do this, if I shout at this person, does it please Krishna? Does it displease Krishna? So there is a, so the practical application of this words, how do you apply this words in your life, right? Because you are doing everything as an offering to Krishna. If you offer something to Krishna, you need to think about what you're offering. Because everything you offer, you want to offer it as an offering to Krishna. So if I do this, does it please Krishna? That's how you should think, right? Then that's like a filter. It's a conscious filter we add to our life. Then naturally you won't do anything that is wrong, because you do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, right? That is the way you want to mold your life, right? Yeah, so if you do like that, what happens? Yeah, please read.
In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me.
So in this way, you will be completely freed from bondage to work. Whatever work you perform, generally work binds us in this world. But if you perform the work for the satisfaction of Krishna as an offering to Krishna, means whatever work you perform, whatever results you get, you partially offer to Krishna, right? And also remember Krishna before you start your work. In this way, you do it, every work you perform becomes a sacrifice, right? And naturally you'll be relieved of any bondage of those results. So with your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. So with your mind always fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and you will come back to me. You will not stay back in this material world anymore. You will come back to me. Yeah, I think we'll stop here, 6:25. Rinku Mataji had some questions. We'll quickly look into that. So I have a question saying demigod to Lord Shiva, Ma Durga, Radharani. Yeah, first thing is Radharani is not a demigod. She is Antaranga Shakti of Supreme Lord. She is internal potency of the Supreme Lord. There are three potencies of the Supreme Lord: Antaranga, Bahiranga, and Tatastha. All the jivas of the material world, they're all Tatastha Shaktis, marginal potency of the Supreme Lord. Internal potency or the Antaranga Shakti is the pure Nitya Siddhas in the spiritual world, the eternally liberated jivas. And Radharani is the original potency of original internal potency. She is the source internal potency. So, so she's never part of she's not demigod. Demigods mostly are in the marginal potency. So yeah, there are different, when we say demigods, not everybody is. Lord Shiva is almost like Krishna. He is not like other demigods. Like other demigods like Vinayaka, all these other demigods are much lower compared to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is a very high position. It's a Shambhu Tattva. It's a transformation of Vishnu Tattva. Vishnu Tattva, when it is slightly tinged with middle mode of ignorance, that becomes Shambhu Tattva. So Lord Shiva is almost like Krishna, but it's like milk. Milk is the original substance. When it is tinged with tamarind or culture, it becomes curd. Lord Shiva is like curd or yogurt, right? Yogurt cannot become milk. Milk can become yogurt. One is the transformation of the other. So Shambhu Tattva is a higher energy. He is not, of course, he's considered like a demigod, but he's not at the same level of other demigods. He's a very high, even he's much higher than Brahmaji also. Brahmaji is a marginal potency. Ma Durga, she is a reflection of internal potency. Internal potency is Radharani or Lakshmis. All the Lakshmis are internal potency of the Supreme Lord. And Ma Durga is internal potency reflected in the material world. So Ma Durga is a very high position again. So everybody is different. We cannot just equate everybody to be like simple. Indra, Chandra, Varuna, they are much lower. They are Lord Shiva, Durga, they are very high. Many of the other demigods are lower, much lower. Yes, Brahma Samhita. Lord Shiva's position is, I'll show you verse also. Verse 45. So this is the verse translation. Just as, verse 45, just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect curd is neither same as nor different from its cause, milk. So I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction. So, yeah, clear, right? This is the position of Lord Shiva. Yeah. No, it's not ISKCON side, it's Brahma Samhita. I think you have doubts on scripture itself. Brahma Samhita. Let's see the verses directly. Let me read. Kshiram yata dadi vikara vishesha yogas sanjayate nahi tata prathak asti heto chasham bhutam apitata samupaiti karya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Read the translation. Anybody?
Just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect curd is neither same as nor different from its cause, viz. Milk. So I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction.
Is it clear? Do you still have doubts? Kshiram yata dadi vikara vishesha yoga. Very clear. Kshiram means milk. Yeah? Dadi means yogurt. Just like a milk is transformed. So, whatever I state generally must have a reference. Otherwise, I generally don't speak. Yeah. So whatever I'm speaking, please understand that those are with references. Never do I speak anything without any reference. Everything I spoke today or in the past must have a reference. Without any authority, I will never speak anything. I'll never make up anything in my mind. If I don't know, I will tell you that I don't know and I'll check back and let you know. Okay? So please never doubt such things at all.
Prabhuji, like while doing any like pujas, right? For example, like the Varalakshmi puja or Satyanarayan puja or whatever. So usually we do the puja for Vinayaka, right? First, because maybe whatever obstacles which after for the puja they'll be removed. So now we know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and we have to do the offering and puja to him. So still so what we should do now, like should we follow this one, or how it is done, like so because whenever we do something, now I'm getting a feeling like maybe I am I'm doing something wrong, because first whatever prayers also we do, first we start with Vinayaka prayers, right? So how, yeah.
One second. Let's read this verse. Yatpada pallava yugam vinidaya kumbha dvandve pranama samaye sagandh ganadhiraja vignan vihantu malamasya jagatrayasya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Please read Varalakshmi Mataji.
I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesha upon the pair of tumuli protruding from his elephant head, in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all the obstacles on the path of progress of the three worlds.
So Ganesha is Vigna Vinayak. So he destroys all the obstacles on the path of achieving anything in this world. But where is he obtaining his power?
From the Lord Govinda.
He always keeps his, the Supreme Lord's lotus feet are held by Ganesha upon the pair of tumuli, means on his tusks, protruding from his elephant head in order to obtain the power for his function. So actually Vinayaka is the worshipper of Lord Narsingadev, right? So he specifically worships, his Araja Deva is Narsingadev. He basically worships Narsingadev, and he, so in Gaudiya Sampradaya, we worship Lord Narsingadev in as a counter for Ganesha worship, direct Ganesha worship. But Ganesha is a pure devotee, so even if he is offered this thing, it's nothing wrong. He's a pure devotee of Krishna, so there is as part of a ritual, if that is performed, that is all right. There is nothing wrong, because he himself is a devotee of Krishna. Right?
Clear, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, any other questions?
Prabhuji, if you have time, I have one more question.
Hmm.
So I was reading this book, and there was a story of the elephant king Gajendra. So when the crocodile was about to kill him, so suddenly he got the idea in his mind to pray for Lord Vishnu. So in that book, it was written that God inspires the devotees to pray for him when they are in the trouble. Means he gives the idea to them. So does this happen to only to the pure devotees, or the devotees have to be in a certain level of consciousness to be inspired or to be given the idea by the God?
Sorry, can you, I didn't get it clearly.
Like the Gajendra is there at the elephant king when he was attacked by the crocodile. Yeah. So that time he prays for Lord Vishnu. So in that book it was written that the God itself, the Lord Vishnu himself will inspire Gajendra to pray for him by giving that, by planting that idea in his mind. So my question is, so the devotees have to be in a certain level of consciousness or to be given the idea by the God, like to pray for him?
Yeah, very good question. So the reason Gajendra, he was an elephant in the current body, but in the previous life he was King Indradyumna. As King Indradyumna, he was a constant worshipper of Lord, but for whatever reasons he gets the Gajendra body or elephant body. But because he had done devotion to Lord Vishnu in the past life, he was able to remember. Krishna in this life. Krishna gives that remembrance in the current life when he was in a predicament situation. Right? It was special causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. So that is the reason, like if you chant, it will never go in vain. All of this will come back. Every mantra you chanted will come back to you in your life. It will have its effect. Right? So yeah, so it is to reassure you through all these stories, have faith in Lord, he will take care of you. Even whatever you do in this life, for whatever reasons, if you had to take another human form, again in that life, whatever you did in this life will help. It's now, so whatever you do spiritually, the progress you make will continue to be there with you forever. Okay? So that is the reassurance from that story we get. So when you read these verses, have that faith in, like, why is Krishna saying all this? You may doubt, oh, Krishna, in other scripture, they say like they say Krishna is worshipping Shiva. So never have such mentality. First, that mentality itself is wrong. You're approaching in a very, very wrong way. Your means originally you have a big doubt. Okay, so I'm not talking about your question, Madhu. I'm just telling in general. So why not take these verses as it is, right, and accept in truth what is wrong, right? So if you accept in faith, you will have the benefit. So for the doubting soul, there is no good in this life or the next. That verse is already we read in a previous chapter, right? So accept in good faith the instruction of Krishna, your life will be benefited. Okay, there is no agenda or anything or interpretation in a way that we want. These are all instructions of Lord Krishna. We accept. Krishna himself told in the beginning, what did he say? Third verse. Those who are not faithful in this devotion service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. Okay. If nothing, we'll end the class here. Thank you all very much for joining.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.